Hello everybody, Rob here, and welcome to module number 10. Okay, in this module, we're going to be talking about the kangen water scientific studies done in live human tissue culture and live human volunteers. Okay, so this information that was found in these studies, this data, okay, this non-debatable data that um, shows the beneficial effects of kangen water in the human body. Okay, these benefits are crucial to being able to give potential clients, okay, the most up-to-date and most recent factual evidence or factual information in regards to why they would want to drink kangen water every day. Okay, so I suggest that this information that we're going to talk about here, you get really comfortable with it, okay, and you get some of these kangen water scientific booklets. You can lend them out to potential clients. Let's say you want to bring this product up to a doctor, or a nutritionist, or a naturopath, or chiropractor, dentist, okay, personal trainer, okay, people who have a broader understanding of the human body. Okay, these are great booklets to say, hey, you know what? Take this booklet, give it a read. Let me get your opinion on it. Okay, and then another thing that I do is I will use these findings when I'm introducing or talking to someone new, and they say, you know what? Well, tell me something about it. What's so special about the water? Okay, that's a question I get quite frequently. Well, tell me something about the water that separates it. And you can give them some of these facts and say, you know what, here's some factual data that was done in a live human clinical study registered by the National Institute of Health, and give them a couple of the facts. Now you got their attention. Okay, now that you got your attention, my next thing that I'll do is I'll say, you know what, this night at this time, I do a live water demonstration health seminar. Okay, it's very interactive, it's fun, educational, and it's not very long at all. You get them to the demo, you say, okay, so I'm going to schedule you in for a spot. Now you got them intrigued, okay? You got their attention, now you got them at a demo. Now once they're at the demo, now they can see the product, sample the water, look at, they're going to be very intrigued, and they're going to find the demo very inspiring, okay? And then from that point, now you can potentially close right there, or you get them on a water trial, okay? So these are the tools, and there's an evolution, a process that you bring people from the introductory, getting their attention, getting them to a demo, okay, and getting them sampling the water, okay? So I love these studies because it provides validity to the product, and it really gives you an extra level of professionalism, okay? So you want to know that the studies were done in live human volunteers, and also there were studies done in live human red cells in tissue culture, okay? So in a petri dish. Okay? So another thing you want to know is the studies were kind of pioneered, you can say, by our medical advisor, okay, Dr. Horst Filzer. And you want to know who Dr. Horst Filzer is so you can let people know, we have a medical advisor. His name is Dr. Horst Filzer. Okay, he is a retired cardiovascular surgeon who graduated from Harvard Medical School. Okay, he works at a wound care facility in Klamath Falls, Arizona today, to this day. Okay, so you also want to know that a little bit of how the study came to be. So Dr. Horst Filzer wanted to do some studies in live human in humans in the United States. So he proposed this to our owner, Mr. Oshiro, and it was accepted. Mr. Oshiro put the money in place to initiate the first tests, okay? And Dr. Horst Filzer contacted the the independent laboratory that he used, which is the autoimmune systems laboratories. Okay, so that was the laboratory that Enagic, Dr. Horst Filzer, used to conduct these studies, was the autoimmune systems laboratories in Klamath Falls, Oregon. Okay, so it's an independent laboratory. Okay, and basically these studies are, they're following all the protocols, all the steps. They're doing this to meet all the regulations and have these studies approved. So they use this system. They use the autoimmune systems laboratories in Klamath Falls because they had a different testing methodology to find antioxidant activity. Okay, so I think that was one of the reasons why Dr. Horst went with the autoimmune systems laboratories. Okay, so they did find some interesting core data in these studies. Okay, and the first thing they did find was that there was antioxidant activity in the kangen water, in the red cells, okay, when comparing it to ordinary Klamath Falls tap water. Okay, so kangen water does have antioxidant activity. Okay, so that is not an opinion. That is not something that Enagic is falsely promoting. You can actually say that with confidence, and you can say that as an Enagic distributor. You're not making any claims. You're not, you can say that, kangen water has antioxidant activity, okay, that far exceeds ordinary water, okay. Second thing that they found was that kangen water suppressed the inflammation response, okay. That's a huge one. That's a huge finding because inflammation, as we know, and is a huge problem that for many people. A lot of people are on anti-inflammatories, or they're in constant pain, and they're dealing with so many different types of symptoms of inflammation, and there's so many different kinds of inflammation: dietary inflammation, stress-induced inflammation, okay, chronic inflammation, all these different things, and this leads to larger issues and all these different types of degenerative diseases. So I really love these studies because I don't have to talk theories with people. I never get into discussions about specific diseases. So if somebody says, "Oh, how will this water help me with my cancer or my diabetes or my kidney issues or my liver issues or my my thyroid issues or any autoimmune," all I tell them is, what, kangen water is not a cure, and I don't really want to give you any theories, but what I would like to tell you is some non-debatable facts that the water does do for the human body, and then you can use that information to see if that would benefit you. So, you can tell people, kangen water has antioxidant properties. So the water is a great way to deliver antioxidants. There's antioxidants in the water, okay, that you're not going to get drinking bottled or tap water. Okay, and then you tell them kangen water suppresses the inflammation response. Wow, okay, so that's a huge one. So now you've got a water that is actually reducing inflammation. Okay, so another thing that they found was that kangen water upregulated energy production of the cells. So specifically, your cells have these little organs inside of them called mitochondria, and the mitochondria are responsible for producing a molecule called ATP. Okay, and ATP is basically the energy currency of your body. That's one analogy I like to use. So what they found, especially in the presence of glucose, which is one of our primary sources of fuel, is that the ATP production, okay, was upregulated when people were on the kangen water. Okay, and it was significant in the presence of glucose. So what that means is, in this booklet, Dr. Horst puts it simply and says, kangen water, the engine of the cell works better on kangen water. He puts it in a very simple way to understand. So right there, there's three amazing facts about kangen water that are non-debatable. And if people say, well, where'd you get this information from? You can say, you know what, I have a booklet. Would you like to borrow it? You can read it. You can look this stuff up on the internet if you want. You can look up the laboratory, the people involved. Have at it, read it. It's a live human clinical study, and all the information has been broken down in an easy to read format. Okay, so now you're giving people facts, which gives you a lot of validity and credibility. Makes you really helps you stand out and increases that professionalism. So I really, like I said, suggest you get to know this information. So right now, three things you can say proudly about kangen water. It has antioxidant activity in human blood. Okay, kangen water suppresses the inflammation response. Okay, and you don't got to get too deep. People ask questions. So you know what? You can borrow the book. Okay, so by suppressing the inflammation response, that basically is saying, kangen water is an anti-inflammatory. Okay, and now you can tell people, you know what? Kangen water increases energy production of the cells. Okay, what was found in the study was energy production was upregulated in the cells when they were on kangen water. Okay, so if someone said, people have always asked me, what will I expect to feel when I'm consuming this water? Will I feel more energy? And I've had people tell me they've felt different in 12 hours, like an extreme more amount of energy. I've had people go into major detox symptoms right away. I've had people say, you know what, I haven't felt anything. Okay, and it really does vary between the individual, their ages, okay, their health conditions, their physical health. It's all going to vary. So what I'd like to tell people is, you know what, you may not feel anything, but this isn't Red Bull. Okay, it's not going to give you wings. It's not a drug. But what this water does is the water is more beneficial for your cells, not necessarily you. Okay, so this is water for your cells. So even though you're not feeling it, on a cellular level, the water is working and really improving these cellular functions. Okay, so antioxidant activity, which means you're going to be protecting your body from free radical damage. Okay, you're going to be reducing that oxidation in the body. You're going to be suppressing the inflammation response, which is huge. Okay, so you're going to stop the body from attacking itself. Now you can also say, you know what, kangen water upregulates energy production from every cell. Okay, massive information, all non-debatable facts. Okay, now in the live human volunteers, okay, the study, what they had, so some of this information you want to know so you can share it when you're discussing it. So like I said, you're going to have to get these booklets, and this is a huge tool that I use because it's the most up-to-date information. So I've read this book like 50 times. So the live human volunteer section, they had 13 volunteers, and these volunteers were some were on the tap water for a period of time, okay, a couple weeks. Then there was a washout period, and then they were on the kangen water, okay, and they found some pretty interesting differences in the plasma between when these individuals were not on the kangen water and when they were on the kangen water. And what they had these people do was come in and do exercise challenges, specific exercise challenges to induce exercise-induced inflammation, okay, and see what was happening in the body, what the differences were, okay, when they were hydrated on kangen water and when they were hydrated with regular tap water. Okay, so one thing The first thing that they found was when the volunteers were on the kangen water, they found a significant increase in red blood cell count. Okay, so in the book, that is basically it's explained that translates to a increase in the blood's oxygen carrying capacity. Okay, so that's a massive finding. Okay, people for athletes especially, athletes are always looking for ways to increase their red blood cell count. Okay, there's drug methods. Okay, there's athletes who train in higher altitudes where the oxygen concentration percentage is lower. Okay, because they know that if you have a higher red blood cell count, these athletes know they're going to have better oxygen carrying capacity in their blood, which means they're going to be able to push farther, go farther. Okay, they're going to have more endurance. They're going to be able to get that oxygen to their muscles more effectively, which means they're going to perform better. So that's a massive finding. You can explain to athletes or anybody, people who are, very acidotic or lethargic. That's one of the issues is low oxygen in their tissues. So this is a really good finding to be able to say, you know what, kangen water scientifically has been proven to increase red blood cell count, which means that the blood has a better oxygen carrying capacity. Okay, it's a massive finding. So that's the fourth finding. Okay, so I'm actually going to just go right to the summary. Let's see here. I'm just going to read the last little bit here. They also found there was actually, I'm going to read that to you. I thought there was one more thing. Yeah, the in the live human volunteers, they also found again that there was a suppression in inflammation. Okay, which meant increased recovery time. So I'm going to read this here. The main... Where are we here? Overall, the results pointed to health benefits related to the following core findings. Increased energy, oxygen delivery, subjective sense of energy, increased alertness and relaxation, reduced restlessness, increased readiness for repair, increased platelet counts, reduced soreness, reduced levels of inflammatory cells. Okay, huge. These effects contributed to an increased state of wellness. The main finding in this study is that consumption of AIW, alkaline ionized water, supported physiological response to the exercise challenge better than tap water. In particular, the objective measures pertaining to the statistically significant increases in red blood cell, hemoglobin, and hematocrit translate to an increase in the blood's oxygen carrying capacity. Okay, that finding alone is massive. The second finding was reduced levels of inflammatory cells in the blood after consuming AIW compared to tap water. Okay? For some types of inflammatory cells, the reduction associated with AIW consumption was statistically significant when compared to tap water. The combination of the increase in the blood's oxygen carrying capacity and the reduced number of inflammatory cells in the blood after AIW consumption may possibly provide an underlying explanation for the reduced soreness after the exercise challenge. There was a mild trend to a faster return to normal plasma lactate levels after the exercise challenge when AIW had been consumed before the challenge. Okay, so a mild trend to lactate being neutralized or being reduced quicker. The result presented in this report confirmed that consuming AIW has measurable effects on various biomarkers and the subjective sense of well-being. Another thing to keep in mind is the machine they used for this test was the SD501. That's the 7-plate model that we have, okay? Just so someone asks you, okay, what kind of water is this? It's kangen water. It's from the SD501, which actually will give you more confidence in promoting this product because you know now that in the United States, scientific data, in live human blood, there's core findings, non-debatable facts that this water produced by this device has benefits to the human body. Okay, which that just right there is going to give you so much more confidence in promoting this product and selling this product. Okay, so the data are highly interesting and should be considered that these results be core data in a manuscript. The initial design included testing of serum for inflammatory markers and immune modulating cytokines, as well as testing of plasma for markers for oxidative stress. So they ran out of money, so they had the plasma from these volunteers frozen at negative 80 degrees Celsius, and by selling these booklets, they were able to gain the money they needed to continue. So in the end of 2018, they actually continued the studies and looked into the plasma of these volunteers. But I'm going to read the summary and conclusions. Testing kangen water for antioxidant activity compared to ordinary water showed the kangen water had greater antioxidant capacity in living human tissue cultured in cells. In addition, the testing showed a reduction in the inflammatory response when exposed to inflammatory cells. Cellular metabolism and energy production in neutrophil cells was enhanced, improved significantly in the presence of glucose. To put it simply, kangen water improved the function of the cellular engine. The testing of kangen water in sports recovery and inflammation revealed an increase in red blood cell production with kangen water, resulting in increased oxygen delivery and carbon dioxide removal. That's huge. There was also a reduction in the release of inflammatory cells, which reduces exercise stress related to inflammation. So inflammation, exercise-induced, stress-induced, dietary-induced is still inflammation, okay? Increased production of platelets with the consumption of kangen water was also observed and suggests that improved readiness for stress-induced damage repair. From a subjective point of view, the study participants drinking the water showed a statistically significant improvement in recovery from the exercises and an improved sense of well-being. Okay? Plasma and serum saved from all participants in the study will be analyzed in a future study for a variety of cytokines and oxidative stress markers to further broaden the knowledge based on the efficacy of kangen water. These initial studies, sponsored by Enagic, clearly demonstrate that the water is unique and certainly has a role in promoting good health. Okay, so kangen water is an antioxidant. Kangen water is anti-inflammatory. It improves energy production, okay, of the cells, upregulates energy production. It increases red blood cell count, which means people are going to have better oxygen carrying capacity throughout their entire body. Okay, so those are 4 massive findings. Okay, and they found just a better overall sense of well-being and a readiness for stress, which is, we all know life is stressful, and having your body in a state where it can handle stress, is just going to make you more effective in your day-to-day life. Okay, so the last thing that they have found up to date, which I did talk about in the antioxidant module, was that after looking at the frozen plasma, okay, just to be really simple here, that they found a increase in the production of superoxide dismutase, which we discussed was an enzyme produced in the liver, which is one of the most important first line of defense antioxidants your body produces. Okay, and one of its main roles is to neutralize the free radical superoxide, which is produced by the body, by the cells when you metabolize oxygen. Okay, so it also helps prevent the body from accumulating and becoming susceptible to oxidative stress. Okay, it's a first line of defense antioxidant, and this is a massive finding, guys. That the fact that drinking kangen water basically upregulates the production of this superoxide dismutase. So you are not only is the water have antioxidant properties, but now the water is helping the body produce it's helping the body produce more of the antioxidants that you naturally produce. Okay, so it's actually building and strengthening your first line of defense, your immune system. So huge findings. Keep up with Dr. Horst Filzer and Enagic for the upcoming findings. Okay, Dr. Horst put a video out in the end of December and sharing the superoxide dismutase information. Like I said, get your hands on these booklets and get to know this information, because it is a way for you to effectively give clients factual data that is up to date, more recent, done in North America, done in the US, in live human blood. Okay, it's non-debatable information. Okay, so it gives you that credibility and it gives you another level of professionalism. Okay, so that's it for module 10. Okay, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.